Hi, this is Hamad Zahawi, founder and CEO of Right Track Admissions, an admissions consulting company. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe by hitting the big red button below to get the latest content from Right Track Admissions, as well as hit us up on our social media handles, also conveniently located below this video to get the latest content from us. So what are we talking about today? Today, we're going to be talking about COVID and how it's going to impact the college admissions process. But not just talking about it in general terms, we're going to give you key takeaways as well as a call to action to know exactly what you need to do to get on the right track to success. To help us out, we're going to have our Director of College Admissions, Nadine Jawad, join us to provide those key takeaways as well as that call to action.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk with you all today. I know there's a lot of anxiety and uncertainty around applying for undergraduate universities right now. And so, we just wanted to illuminate some of the things we think you should be ahead of. So the first thing is really to think about when applications open. So apply early. With all of the uncertainties happening and with testing changing and some people taking SAT and things moving around, applying early will really allow you to figure out what it is you're behind on if you are behind, and also to push through and get that if there's any questions or whatnot with schools, you'll figure those things out early if you're starting early. So number one, definitely start early. Number two, the coronavirus looks different in different places. So what that means is if you're applying to Canadian schools or UK schools or US schools, how they're approaching testing and letters of recommendation and grades might look a little bit different. And so you're really going to want to focus on knowing your audience and understanding what requirements look like. But even, in a regional level in the United States, the virus looks different in California versus New York versus Michigan. And so thinking about that is important so you can understand what sort of stipulations are in place for your schooling as you're applying, through the process. And number three, which is actually one of the most important points, is, we've received a lot of questions from people asking, my father had, unfortunately, like some people said, like my father had coronavirus or someone in my family was ill or this impacted me in this way because of my job. And, and in crafting your narrative and filling out your application materials, you definitely should take time to be authentic and to really highlight some of the ways the virus impacted you. And so if you're feeling, like the virus, took a toll on your summer internship experience or a personal toll or a health toll or whatever that is, you're going to want to highlight that in the context of your application and make sure you push that forward. So yeah, it's really all about you. You want to, point three is about, being authentic and crafting your narrative. And if you feel that talking about Corona or the virus is essential to your application, don't shy away from that. Definitely utilize it. I would also say that in the context, which is point number four of, what's going on, and this is a really, really big one, is to be courageous and to email and ask for help. So point number four is all about seeking out help and the resources that you need. Because there, are people, every school is having different requirements. Some people are having flexible testing. Some people are having no longer need of a test. All the different universities in the US and Canada and the UK are kind of shifting around to accommodate students. You're not the only one experiencing this. And so, it's really helpful to reach out to admissions, check out websites, and don't stress yourself out or be nervous about reaching out to ask. In fact, that shows proactiveness, and that will be really you showing initiative to get on top of your application process.
Thank you, Nadine. You definitely summarized some really, really critical points for our audience. And again, just to reiterate for our audience out there, apply early. As Nadine said, it is mission critical that you get ahead of the game. And if there are different issues that are going to be happening out there, you want to be ready to pivot. And the only way that you can pivot and be able to overcome any challenges that does transpire is to apply early and not wait till the end. And obviously keep your eyes open to what is changing out there. Again, know your audience, as Nadine said, whether you're applying to UK, Canadian, or US schools, things are constantly changing, whether visa requirements, whether admissions requirements, additional essays, standardized testing issues. Just, obviously know your audience and know where you are applying to and know how that virus has affected that market and affected those schools specifically. We've talked about being authentic, and Nadine made that a very, very strong point, which is that you want to make sure that you're talking about yourself and not just talking about in esoteric terms or in general terms. For some people, COVID may not have impacted them that greatly. Don't feel compelled that you have to include it, but it is the elephant in the room, and it is something that you're going to have to at least address in some part of your application, because it has almost invariably impacted everyone. And then finally, last but not least, that she said, is just ask for help, because it's very, very important that you don't ignore what is out there, and then you are getting the support you need, whether you're asking your mentors, teachers, friends, people in the schools that you're applying to, the dream programs that you're applying to, as well as obviously, whether it's for financial aid or for extra assistance with standardized testing, or just, again, reach out to people that can really help you and push you across the goal line. Companies like ours and others out there are really in that business. We are out there to really try to help you get into that dream program. So don't be afraid to do that. Now, Nadine, you've given us some main talks to action and the takeaways. Tell us, what is your call to action, that you want to be able basically help get the students on the right track?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say that if there's anything to take away, the main call to action here is to create a spreadsheet or some sort of organizational method, so you can start figuring out what you need for each school. So if, I was in the process of applying, I would get a spreadsheet going, list out the schools that are priority for me, and then put everything on that spreadsheet that relates to the school, the questions, the testing, what's happening, how does it change, who can I contact, for example, in admissions if I want to know more about how COVID is impacting the different requirements. And, just have a plan. And having that spreadsheet and starting now, today, that's the call to action. Because, if you're struggling, for example, with paying for the SAT or turning in your applications or whatever, by looking into schools now and getting all those different COVID flexibility requirements, you're going to be setting yourself up for success to ensure that you can maximize resources and make the process as easy as possible for yourself. So yeah, get a spreadsheet going, reach out to your top schools. That's what I would start doing today. Understand where you stand and what you still need to do to get to where you want to go. And just don't let things panic you right now. We're all in this together. There are resources out there, but just definitely be proactive, get that spreadsheet going, and get yourself organized.
Again, thanks so much, Nadine, for being on this episode. Your insights and input is extremely important to our audience and to us, even as an organization. And again, for our audience, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so that you can get the latest content that can really help you get on the right track to success. In the meantime, and as always, stay safe, stay sane, and stay connected.